Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mercy and I'm back here with another video. If you're new, welcome. We talk about all things faith, fashion, lifestyle, and beauty, and I'm so glad to have you joining me today because I will be testifying of the goodness of God and how He healed me in an unconventional way. And so without further ado, let's just hop right into it. I'm going to first acknowledge that for the past 12 years plus, I have battled hidradenitis suppurativa, also known as HS for short. And what this is a chronic skin condition that forms lumps in places such as the armpits and also the groin area. And so this is a condition that has no cure, and it's also called acne inversa as well. Now, this is something that is not meant to have a cure. There's really no way that you can get rid of it but to manage it for the rest of your life. And so this is an emotional topic for me, so please bear with me if I start crying, because it has been a long journey of crying out to the Lord, asking Him, like, when are you going to heal me, God? How long are you going to let me suffer from this? Like, I literally felt like the woman with the issue of blood. And so I think I had my first breakout at 14. As soon as I entered high school, it was a challenge because I suffered with it in my groin area, my inner thighs. With the sports that I played in high school, like I literally played volleyball, I cheered, and I ran track. So all of those sports literally required my legs to be out in short shorts. And I always was so insecure that if I jumped the wrong way, or if my shorts rose up too high, that somebody was going to notice my scars or that something was wrong with me. And so I had a lot of body insecurity throughout my teenage years. And I was so ashamed of my body. And for a long time, I didn't go to the beach, I didn't swim, I didn't go to the pool like a normal person would do in Florida in the summer, because I was just so insecure and scared that, people would notice that something was wrong with me. And so throughout my entire teenage years, these are the battles that I was facing. Along with my skin, like my acne was going crazy as well, and it was just hard. And I just prayed to God, like, please, Lord, heal me. I cannot, I don't want to go into marriage like this feeling insecure about my body and wonder if my husband or my boyfriend is going to accept me. And it was just for over 12 years, I battled these thoughts and these emotions, and I would get so frustrated with God. Like, it would seem to get better at times, like when I got older. My breakouts weren't as bad, but then when they would come back badly, I would just like completely shut down and get angry with God, like just waiting for healing to come. I had no idea what it was. There was no diagnosis up until 2 years ago, and by that time I was already suffering from it for 10 years. And so it was some of the worst pain that I've experienced in my entire life. Like, they would literally swell up so big, and it would just burst with fluids and everything. Like, it was just disgusting. And so because there was no diagnosis, like, there was no way for me to explain what I was going through to anyone. Even the doctors, like, every time my mom would take me to the doctor, they would literally inject me with cortisol or whatever the steroids were to, relieve the swelling. They would tell me to wash with antibacterial soaps and put me on antibiotics. I was on antibiotics so frequently that I think that I eventually became immune at some point, because it was on a consistent basis and it still never went away. So it was just a constant battle trying to understand like what was causing it. They would tell me, like, they just they just treated it like it was a razor bump or something, like it was something that I did to cause it. So they would tell me, oh, make sure you use clean razors or switch out your razors frequently. And it was to a point where I was doing all that, I was using the prescribed things, and nothing was working. So I just stopped shaving completely, and it got progressively worse. And so this condition is basically the swelling or the infecting of the sweat glands. So if you have any hair, I came to learn that if you have any hair in the area, that is what causes the infection. When you sweat, it literally causes the infection and causes your skin to swell. And so I had no understanding of this, so I just stopped shaving in general because they were making it seem like it was just a razor bump or something like that. And yeah, I literally was suffering with this for my entire teenage years, into my adulthood, into college. And I literally remember, I never really struggled with my armpits, but I did have one lump that came under my armpit when I was a freshman, but technically a junior in college. And it got so big. It was literally probably this size under my right arm. And it got to a point where it had swelled so much I could not even move my arm without being in pain. So I had called my friend, and she took me to the ER. They cut it open and drained it, and that was the last time I had a problem with my armpits. But you know, here and there I would feel like tenderness and soreness, but it has been okay with my arms. But it was a continuous struggle with my inner thighs, and so I went through so much pain, like I can't even describe. Like, it was hard for me to walk. I would go through boxes of Band-Aids because of the uniform that I would have to wear. Like, it would literally rub against my flesh whenever it would rip open, and it was just the worst. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, even my worst enemy, the things that I suffered through. And there was so many times where I tried to explain it to my friends, or you know, hint at what I was experiencing with my body, and they would be like, oh yeah, I totally get what you're going through, like I have the same things. But I knew that they weren't struggling with the same thing. I knew that what they were talking about was probably just razor bumps or, like, you know, sporadic things, but mine was continuous, and I really did not have anybody to really understand what I was going through. And that was probably one of the toughest things, because I could not confide in anyone. I mean, of course my mom knew, but you know, she didn't go through this, so I couldn't confide in anyone. Like, it was literally just a battle within myself and between me and God. And I just wanted to mention that, because there is actually, like, when I found out the diagnosis and I looked it up and I started doing research on YouTube and things like that, like, I found that there were so many people all over the world that struggled with this same exact skin condition, and I wasn't alone. And I'm just like, why did it take so long for someone to put a name on this? Like, I literally discovered it when I was listening to my Spotify and I heard an ad for hydrogenitis suppurativa. I literally heard an ad, and there was a YouTuber that I followed for years that was literally doing videos on how she manages it as well, and I had no idea, because like, I would watch her videos sporadically and I had no idea that she was literally suffering from it as well. And the whole time, like, I'm searching for answers, I'm searching for what it is that I'm struggling and battling through, and I just never had a name for it up until 2022. But I knew that once I was able to put a name on it, I knew that my healing was coming. I knew that my healing was coming. But the good news is that I can testify that I am completely healed, because a simple decision that I made earlier this year, which was to get laser hair removal. And it was not with intention that I thought that it was going to heal me, because I had no idea or no expectation. Like, I had watched some videos of other people who had struggled with the same thing, and they mentioned laser, but it wasn't like on my mind. Like, it had gone down and it wasn't as bad as like when I was in high school as an adult. So Basically I signed up for laser. I would go every 6 weeks, and I'm still in the process, so I'm halfway through my treatments at this point, and it's been 9 months or 9 or 10 months. So throughout the journey I realized that, you know, the more treatments I got, the less I would see the swelling and the lumps come upon my legs. And it's now to the point where it's been months and I haven't had not one swell at all. And of course the scars are still there, but it's just a sign and a symbol of what I came through and what I've endured and what I've been healed from. And that will always be a reminder and a testimony of what God has brought me through. And now I'm not in pain anymore. Like, I'm free to, you know, live my life and just be free. And I thank God. I cried out to the Lord so much, and I had so many down days, because it really affects you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Because I would literally get angry at God. Like, when I thought it was progressing, when I thought it was getting better, then it would just get worse. And it was just a continuous cycle. And it affected my relationship with God, honestly, because I was just like, why do you have me suffering like this? But I know that my suffering was not in vain, and I know that me going through that and having the testimony that I do is going to help other people get the same healing that I got, because laser is available to everyone. And I really encourage anyone who struggles with this condition to invest in laser. It is an investment, and it did impact my finances heavily this year, but it was well worth it, because now I can say that I'm healed and walk in that healing. And so I just want to leave you all with that encouragement, that whatever you're going through, whatever condition you're suffering from, whether it's this or something else, that God will hear you. God hears you. God will answer your prayers, and continue to cry out to Him. Continue to depend on Him for your healing, and He will show up. Now, I just think it's so funny and ironic that throughout this year, God has continuously shown up for me in unconventional ways, even with my deliverance. My deliverance came through my laser place as well. And so I just think it's so funny that, you know, my healing also came from laser as well. And He makes no mistakes. And so I hope this video encouraged you and it blessed you on today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.